All right, so I was thinking last night when I was up till 4 in the morning, and something that's always kind of bothered me a little bit. When I was little, I went to Toys R Us, and when I say little, I was probably 8 years old, and I bought Hero Quest for the first time. My mom didn't like some of the pieces, and I think she made me either donate it to Goodwill, or she gave it to somebody, or she threw it away, or something. Either way, my game ended up gone, and so I ended up buying it again from Toys R Us a couple months later when she came around and changed her mind after realizing how bad I wanted that game. Now, I played with it more as a toy than I did a game, because I usually played it by myself. But I always enjoyed it. I loved the little set pieces and the miniatures that were with it. Now, what has me thinking about this is if it wasn't at Toys R Us, and if I didn't see this at a friend's house before then I never would have played that. And may have never later on gotten into tabletop RPGs. I probably would have, but you never know. And so this video is inspired by my childhood memory of Hero Quest being sold at Toys R Us in the expansions, which I never got. And by the way, if anyone has Hero Quest and they don't want it, I would gladly take it off your hands for free or maybe shipping. Just kidding. I don't expect anyone to give that game away. But if you ever find it somewhere and you already have the game, I will happily take it off your hands. Anyways, back on topic though. Now, I am wondering why chain stores don't sell games like Pathfinder and D&D and other tabletop RPGs. It would be, I feel like it would, one, help the hobby. Two, they would sell so much. And, I feel like one of the biggest reasons the hobby isn't bigger is because it's so hard to get the games you want, because you go to the local comic store and they might carry one or two titles. Sometimes they'll have the better stores will have all the titles, that you really want. But you go to some stores and they don't carry, all your RPGs. For example, and not to pick on a store because I actually really like this store, but Volta Midnight. Now, when I was in Ann Arbor, that was the closest one to me. I would go there, and I would also go to a place called Fun for All Comics. Both, I like the stores for various reasons. Fun for All Comics used to be right next to Secretary of State, and so the very first time I went there, it was by accident. I was at Secretary of State, and it was an hour and a half wait, so I went over to Fun for All Comics and bought my red Batman shirt that you've seen in my videos. The Fun for All Comics didn't used to carry all the games I wanted. They used to have D&D and Hero System, and then like Shadowrun and some other games I'm not really interested in. Then there was Volta Midnight, which was downtown Ann Arbor, and that one was cool because they had toys. I mean, both actually had a lot of toys, but that one had, I feel like, a better display. It was, you walk in and it was straight, and you had 3 rows basically of comics and stuff. And then in the basement they had a bunch of board games and then a small section of role-playing games. So I went there, and at the time I was only playing Palladium books, and they had the old Heroes Unlimited and the old Villains Unlimited there. They also had D&D and some other games, but the other games and the Palladium books were like on the bottom shelf, kind of hidden. And the other stuff was displayed so you could see the cover of all of it on these shelves. And so it was a nice display for the rest of the stuff. Now, at the time, being into Palladium books, you can never find the books, so I'd have to order them. So I didn't go to my local gaming store very often. I would try sometimes to just look if I was in the area, but that was about it. Well, then Pathfinder started getting big. I would say this was 2 years ago. Both of those started carrying Pathfinder about 2 years ago, so 2012. And I wasn't into it yet, but I noticed them, but they would only carry the core book. Actually, Fun for All didn't carry it until last year, I think, and actually maybe it was Volta Midnight also last year. So I saw, the core book, and that's all they really carried. So Fun for All now carries a bunch of adventure modules for it and a few of the books. They don't have all the books, but they have a few of them. And then the Volta Midnight had a few of them, but not nearly as many, and had like 2 adventure modules. And they weren't even like first level. They're like you know, the 5th level through the 8th or whatever, and they're like the 4th book in the series, not the first 3 books. So that's kind of an off-putting thing, because I don't want to pick up a module that starts on the 4th book of the series of that adventure. So that was that. So now that I moved to Grand Rapids, Vault of Midnight opened one over here, and they don't have any Pathfinder books. They have the dragons. Actually, I think they have the core book over here now. But they have the dragon, the red dragon set, which I want to buy really bad. And so that kind of bothers me. But the place that I went to buy my dragon, or my gods book, the Pathfinder Inner Sea Gods book, was your bookstore chain, Barnes & Noble. Was it Barnes & Noble? Barnes & Noble. Whatever the bookstore, it's either that or, yeah, because Borders was out of business. So it was Barnes & Noble. So I went there and bought that. And that's really, I guess the point I'm trying to make is Barnes & Noble carries a lot of gaming books for almost all the systems. Some comic stores don't carry all these games, yet people go there hoping that's where they're going to find it. There's a comic book store called Apparition Comics nearby. They don't have any of the new Pathfinder books. I think they might have the core book also, but most of their gaming books are all used books. And that's sad to me too. And they don't even have gaming tables. And I would happily go there to run games if they had some tables for it and events there. But I don't know. I went in there one time and asked the guy if they do any special events, and he said no. And then I asked him for gaming stuff, and he said, "Oh, it's over there around the corner." Okay. Didn't, and the way it's set up, it's, I don't know. It would be fine. I don't have a problem with the store. It's just it didn't leave a good first impression. So, anyways, I guess my point is why don't large chains like Target, Meijer, Toys R Us, Kmart, Walmart, you know, whatever, why don't they carry more gaming books? And I'm not even, like, for instance, your Walmart, I don't expect them to carry, you know, every game. I just the D&D starter set, maybe. You know, they have all those Magic cards and Yu-Gi-Oh cards and baseball cards. I don't even know anybody who buys baseball cards anymore or football cards. You know, but they always have stuff like that, yet they don't have something like a D&D starter set. That's all they need. They can even put it in the board games aisle. You know, or make an end cap for D&D, especially since it's about to come out. I'm sure it's not going to be there, but I'm going to look just because. You know, and maybe that's D&D's fault for not marketing to them and having their salespeople work with them more. I don't know. I just think it would be so cool if I could just go to a regular store to shop, whether I want to buy some groceries or whatever at a Meijer or Walmart or whatever. It would be really cool if I could then just go, oh, well, I want to go check out this other book that I've been thinking about buying real quick. You know? So, anyways, what are your thoughts on this? Do you think it would help? One, do you think it would help the hobby grow? Do you think it would be a lot more mainstream? Do you think that it would be good for business? Do you think it'd be good for the business selling it? You know, would it benefit Walmart or Meijer to sell something like that? And if you say, oh, it's not a big enough market for role-playing games, then care to explain to me why they carry those generic little superhero cards at the front of Meijer? You know, they're $20 and nobody buys them. And it's the same ones that are there for over a year, and then they switch and now they have some other stupid trading card thing there. Sorry. That's my little rant on that. But, you know, I'm just curious your thoughts on this, and let me know what you think. Thank you. Bye.